Hi everyone, my name's Kalthoff and welcome to a Stamping to Share video. Today I'm going to show you the last card that's in my series of cards that I did for the class for August, which was our well-worded class kit to go. And this is a great manly card. I mean, lots of guys like to drink coffee, read the newspaper, and this just seems like such a nice card, such a good fit for that kind of a guy. So here's the front of the card. And you can see it's very simple. Everything's really flat, so this will be really good for mailing. And then on the inside, I left it blank because I thought you could stamp whatever sentiment you wanted on the inside, or you know, decorate it up as you feel. But I couldn't leave it totally blank, so I did have a little strip right here. But again, let's go ahead and learn how to make this card. So one thing that I used for this particular card is our 12 by 12 craft paper. I cut it into 8.5 by 11, and then I cut that 8.5 by 11 piece into a 5.5 by 8.5, which I then scored at 4 1/4 to make this card front. So of course you can make cards out of 12 by 12 paper. It's just a couple more steps in cutting that you have to do. So the next layer on this card is our cherry cobbler cardstock. And now I'm going to start giving you some weird measurements because, well, I'll tell you why. I really like a 3/16 inch border. I just think that looks so sharp on this particular card. And I wanted it in further than our standard 4 by 5 1/4. I wanted just a bit more of this beautiful craft border to show. So that is why I have some strange measurements here for you. But this cherry cobbler cardstock is cut at 3 by 11/16 by 4 15/16. But what I'm going to do is just go right ahead and glue this down onto my card. So we can get the edges really even. So we're just going to set this right here and call that good. That looks great. Let me get this little measurement off. Then the next thing to do is to use some of our Typeset Specialty Designer Series paper. I've got this cut at 3.5 by 4 3/4, and we're going to go ahead and also glue that down with a little bit of multi-purpose liquid glue. This is only $3.95 from Stampin' Up, and it is a wonderful product. I've got all my customers using it. Well, almost all of them. There's a few people out there that just aren't glue people. But after they've been to my house a few times, most of them become glue people because I use it so often. The next thing, of course, is we're going to need a layer. A couple of layers here. We have a 3 by 3 11/16 inch soft suede layer. That's going to go here, but I've got to do some tearing on that yet. And then we have a 1.5 inch by 3 11/16 inch layer of cherry cobbler. And the easiest way to tear this to make it look good on your card is to just go ahead and glue that cherry cobbler panel down onto your soft suede panel first. So I'm going to do that because that's going to give us our guideline as to where we want to tear. So we're just going to put this right here. And now we know exactly where to tear, so we can just go ahead and start tearing, just like this. So there's one side, and here is the other. And I'm tearing it fairly close. And now we want to add a Hardware Essentials embellishment before we actually glue this down onto our card. So I've got this little paper clip item here, and I think, oh my goodness, is that not cute? I love it. Okay, so that is ready to go onto our card. So you saw how easy that was. So we're just going to set this right here, and we have it matching quite nicely. So we can go ahead and just take our glue, and we are going to glue that right here over the top. So we're kind of aiming for about 2/3 of the way down. Maybe I'll bring this a little bit further down. Maybe a little more than 2/3 of the way down. All right, there we go. Looks beautiful. Okay, so we've got our little paper clip right here, and we've got our little red panel here, and that's where we're going to mount the mustache. So what I did is I took another piece of scrap. Here's a little scrap piece of the cardstock from from the craft paper that I used to make the card. And if you close your eyes and put your finger down, you can actually feel which side of the paper is rougher than the other side. And I know it seems weird, but I can find it faster if I have my eyes closed. And so I know that this is the smoother side. And the reason we want to use the smoother side, and I'm going to ink up this mustache now. Oh my gosh, I don't even think I showed you. I didn't. I don't even think I showed you what the stamp set looks like. This is the well-worded stamp set, time out here. And we are using the mustache. I love it. And it's a matching framelit too. So that's always fun when you have a punch or a matching framelit. But I am using, what is this called? This is a new black ink, Tuxedo Black Memento ink. And I think you need to stamp it on the smooth side because I'll show you what happens when you don't. So this is the smooth side. Look at that, all beautiful. I'll bring it up to the camera. Look how clear that looks. But look what happens. Now this is probably not going to happen because I'm doing it for the camera. But look what happens when you stamp it on the rough side. Oh, I know that you're going to look at that and go, well, okay, there's really no difference. But there is. It's sort of like the edges sort of just feather. It doesn't, and especially the longer it sits there, it almost seems like it's feathering more and more. And so I don't care for that. I like the real crisp, clear side. So that's why I choose to stamp on the smoother side of that craft cardstock. And again, I'm probably just imagining half of this, but just telling you what I think. Okay, so now we have, I have run that through the Big Shot machine. Of course, I had a different panel here, but I did this before I started the video, and I ran this through the Big Shot machine. And so you can just pop that out. Look how cool that is. And then I have another one here with dimensionals on because I'm trying to remember in my videos not to take time putting dimensionals on. You really don't need to see me doing that. And so here we are. We're just going to pop this right here. Whoops. There we go. He had a little whisker there I had to take off. And another one over here. All right. So there. We're going to get this all perfect and set that right. I think that looks really good right there. And our card is almost done. We have to finish the inside. But there's the outside, and here's the inside, and just a little something on the inside. So this is just a 1/4 inch strip of cherry cobbler paper, and it's cut at 5 1/4. So 5 1/4 by 1/4 inch, just here on this left side, so that when you open up the card, it's not completely blank. And of course, there's room to write or stamp another sentiment. So there we go. Hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Stampin' Up! Has a great special right now on the starter kit. So if you would like to join my team of creative crafters stamping to share, I highly encourage you to do so. We have lots of fun in a private Facebook group. So anyway, leave you with these two cards. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. And thanks so much for stopping by Stamping to Share. I truly appreciate you. Bye-bye.